everyone. I hope you are doing fine and watching CCR TV like always. It's a great pleasure to be back with you on another episode of The Thesis. It's being quite popular among my guests who have been sharing it. To those of you who watch and share this link of our episodes apart from our other shows on CCR TV. So without much ado, let's go straight into a story. Yes, it's history. And like we have been doing in the last couple of episodes, we have guests who have done their thesis in different fields. And today we have someone who's done a thesis in history. Yes, and on this episode, of course, it gives me great pleasure and honor to have somebody who started off her career when I was born in 1975. Yes, welcome to the show, Fatima, and it's really nice and a pleasure to have you here.
Good afternoon, Bambino, and good afternoon, viewers. Yes, I'm also happy to be here.
So, Fatima, your thesis, first of all, since this program is about the thesis, if you could enlighten our viewers about the topic of your thesis.
Yeah, the topic of my thesis is health and hygiene in colonial Goa, 1510, that is from the time of the arrival of the Portuguese till 1961. It covers the entire Portuguese period.
All right. So, how easy or difficult it was? You really went back in time. What made you, first of all, get the love for history and think about adding a little medical background to that?
Yeah. I was, at that time, I was a teacher of history. I was teaching history at the Dempe College of Arts and Science. And my professor at the postgraduate center, Professor Shastri, whenever I met him, asked me why I was not doing some research, because there was so much to be researched on Goa. And the archives, there was a lot of material at the Goa archives. For a long time, I thought about it, because I had a full-time job. I had school-going children, and
you had time.
And I had no time. I had no time. I had a home.
Okay.
And so I was very reluctant. And then in 1987, finally I said, let me give a try. But then the next question that came up is, who is going to be a guide?
All right.
And that is a period when the Goa University, the postgraduate center, was merging or being a part of the Goa University. And there were very few guides who knew Portuguese. And they had just appointed two or three of them, Dr. Teotonio de Souza, Dr. P.P. Shirodkar, and I think Joseph Barros. I'm not very sure about him, but these two were appointed as guides. So I said, I went to see Dr. Teotonio, who was the director of Xavier Center in Porvorim, and I told him what I was planning to do. He gave me a long list of 15 topics, and none of them appealed to me because it was on trade, on finance, and transport.
Oh, right.
So it didn't appeal to me, and then I didn't want, it was for me, it was not compulsory that I had to
choose those.
No, I'm not compulsory to do my doctorate at that point of time.
Okay.
So I said I wanted to do something that interested me. And then I suggested to him whether I should do or could do something on the Goa Medical School, because my father was a medical doctor, and he always used to say there is not enough has been done on Goa Medical School. He said, no, there is no sufficient material for a thesis on a Goa Medical School, just Goa Medical School. But wait, he says, why don't you come here for some days to our library and do a general reading, which is very important, which is necessary when you are thinking of
a topic.
And one of those days when I was sitting there, I met Professor Pearson from New South Wales University in Australia. And so we got talking, and I told him that I was looking for a topic, something that appealed to me. And I said I was thinking of Goa Medical School. And then I said, but I'm told that there is no sufficient material for a thesis. He said, wait, wait, he says, have you visited the archives? And I said, no. He says, if you go to the archives, you will not get one single manuscript or a book with the entire story of or everything that deals with health. But here and there is plenty of material. You just have to go and spend their time and you will find the material. He says, I will go down, I will talk to Professor Teutonio. And I think you can go ahead with this topic.
Wow. So I think the reason that you must have got into this was your dad who was in the medical field, so it helped you around. So if I take a little rewind and go back to your childhood, any memories of your childhood with your parents or your siblings that you could share with us?
Oh, lots of memories, yes. All the time. And all the time there was topic about health, about hygiene. That was the kind of topics that were discussed on daily basis, not only by my father, but his colleagues used to come to our house. So medicine was not far away. It was all the time being talked in the house.
All right.
Yeah.
So did you have, probably your parents also wanted you to be a doctor?
Never like that.
But you've become a doctor, and nonetheless, in your own sense.
Yeah, I might have, but I was never pressurized as such that I should choose this career or that career.
All right.
But my father was a man who always believed that girls must study, must acquire a degree, but never said
what field. Yes. But it's nice because for many of us, history is something, a story long gone back in time, and you feel like it's any topic or rather a lesson that you recollect, which I know you have the history of the entire world probably at your fingertips, but there's any thing that you'd like to share with us?
About the history?
Yes.
I taught various papers, right from American history to history of China to history of India, and history of India, history of South Asia. It's unending over the years, or not one single year, over the years. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you completed your MA in history with
entire history.
Entire history.
Yeah, I did my graduation, that is my BA in economics and political history.
All right.
And then I did my master's in entire history. Yes.
Okay, and then post that you went and started teaching right away.
Yeah.
So that you were in Dempe College?
Yeah.
In Dempe College in 1975.
Yes.
So 10 years later you decided to...
13 years later, I think.
Yeah, 13 years to do your doctorate.
Yeah.
So what were the difficulties that you encountered when you started off your thesis? Of course, you said you had your home as well, to spend time at home.
Yeah.
But then how did you manage to juggle?
Yeah, you had to. See, what I used to do is that I was teaching in the afternoons from 1:30 onwards. So mornings were more or less free. Not free, but I could do this. So morning I used to go to the archives. I used to go to Xavier Center, to the Central Library. And do whatever research I could, and during the holidays.
All right.
Yes.
Fantastic. Now, for our viewers, of course, Fatima, who is a known historian, she knows just about history of any part of the world, we could say. But then she also got into writing. Her PhD was the first official book that you wrote, should I say? Maybe I should say. But she has written numerous books. I think you have nine publications till date. 9 publications till date, ranging from, of course, history to cookery.
To women,
yes.
Holy House of Mercy, social organizations. I wrote 2 biographies of well-known Goan painters, A.X. Trindade and Angela, his daughter, Angela Trindade, whose collection is displayed at Fundação Orient.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then more recently, I have, just last month, I came out with a book, Trailblazers, some Goan women achievers, women who have achieved in 4 fields: writing, medicine, and the art.
Fantastic. Tell me, Fatima, about writing, being a homemaker, as well as achieving so many things. How was it for you?
No, it was difficult because when I started with my research at the archives, at that time there was internet, but internet maybe, I don't know, in 87 it was just coming out, and there were computers, as also people had started using the computers. I started using the computers in 1989.
Okay.
But all these other facilities that we have now, they were not available at that time. So you had to go to the archives, and you had to write, no laptops or anything. Yes. So you had to go down and take down notes and notes and notes. And sometimes you would go and research and look for 8, 10 books at a time. And consult them, and at the end you would not get anything. It was frustrating.
Yes. Let's come to your thesis now. You have different chapters in your thesis that you have.
Yeah.
So if you could briefly tell us about the different topics that you have, what you learned from the history or the medical, how it was at that time, and in the 15th, 16th century.
Yeah, I started with, my book starts, the first chapter is on the standards of living in Goa from those days to 1961.
Okay.
The standards of living, it discusses the way people live, the transport, communication, cost of living, all those things. And then the next chapter I deal with population.
Okay.
Population also from the beginning till the end. After that, the third chapter is on personal health, personal hygiene, and environmental hygiene. Then disease and epidemics, indigenous medicine, Western medicine, including the Goa Medical School. And there are about 7 chapters.
Talking about indigenous medicines that were used in an early period when the Portuguese came to Goa and till 1961. What was the difference that you found?
No, because both medicines. Yes. Both. Okay. All the people could not avail of Western medicine because it was expensive, and they lived in villages, and there was no transport facilities. So there was a part of population that used the indigenous ways of healing, and there were others who were dealing with the Western, using the Western medicine or availing of Western medicine, and sometimes both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And during your course, did you meet any? You must have met up with many individuals who are in this field of medical healthcare givers, etc.
Oh yes, I visited not many doctors, but yes, historians who are dealing in this field.
All right.
Yes.
And yes. any particular person or a story that comes to your mind right now, if at all,
about what?
About like the history of medicine in that time, or
Yeah, there was plenty. There were many Goan doctors like Dr. Froilan de Mel, Germain Courret, and so many who have been writing on medicine in Goa.
All right.
Yes. They were great men, well known. Froilan de Mel was a doctor who was well known all over the world, I could say.
All right.
Yes, and they made many discoveries. Then there were so many of them. I have a whole list of them. The Afonso family, the generations of them were doctors.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I think for our viewers, many of you, I think your thesis would be available online, but you also have a revised edition in 1994 that you came out with the publication, right?
Yeah.
So for those of you who would like to, go through that, there's lots to read in that book for sure.
Yes, it has been there in the market since 1994.
94, yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
And recently, have you come up with a revised edition? You were talking about a revised edition or something?
No, not of health and hygiene.
Okay.
No, not yet, no.
All right.
No.
And coming to your other publications that you have, your love for cooking, baking.
No, nothing new.
You have a book of recipes, right?
No. I have not. I don't have a book of recipes, but I have written on history and traditions in
Goan,
of Goan cuisine. Yeah.
Right.
How it started, what are the dishes, and all that.
So that all came.
No recipes.
That came without any cooking knowledge then.
Yeah, no. There are a few recipes here and there as an example, but not recipes as such.
All right. So about Goan cooking, how did that love come to you? I mean, to think about writing about.
It's a part of history.
Part of history.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, I've written also on women.
Okay.
That is a topic. I have written 3 books on women.
All right, so you all are watching this lovely program called The Thesis on CCR TV. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And like always, if you have something to tell us or send us an email about, we have our email IDs listed on the description below. So do send us an email. Right now on The Thesis, we are talking history, literally, to a very, very renowned Goan historian who has written her books, who had a thesis on the topic of medical history from during the colonial times. And as Fatima tells us a little bit more about her books that she has written, 9 publications till date and counting for sure, Fatima.
No, that's enough for
That's
now.
enough.
That's enough.
Because the topics that you have chosen for your books are something that probably even I would like to go and start reading, because it's interesting that what you have written in. Coming to your, what I wanted to ask you is your book about women, and what did you find in that? How come you decided to write? And
again, I was being a woman, I was interested in writing on women, and when I went on one of my holidays to Lisbon, someone suggested to me that I should apply for a fellowship which was being given by Fundação Oriente, and Fundação Oriente had just been established at that time, and so I thought I would write my postdoctoral work on women.
All right.
And I was given a fellowship, granted a fellowship by Fundação Oriente.
So what did you find in your...
All about women. I have written women in law, women in church, what was the conditions of women right from the arrival of the Portuguese till the end, and how it has improved women's education, and the various aspects connected with women.
Fantastic. So there's a lot that you have kind of focused for in your lifetime as it is. Although you've said that you're not going to write you don't, at least as of now, you don't have anything in your pipeline, but how do you pass your time?
I just completed, it's not even 2 months, I have completed a book on women, and women achievers, some Goan women achievers who have achieved so much in various fields, in Goa as well as outside Goa.
Okay. So, and
that was the work I have done during the pandemic.
Nice. You had something to pass your time with, that's for sure.
Yes, to keep me busy.
To keep you busy.
Yeah.
Yes. Apart now, if we look forward from here, from 22 this year onwards, so what do you have in store for us?
No, now I need a bit of rest after all this work.
You don't want to write a dozen books before you take a break?
I don't say I won't, but at least for now, I've decided not to. I would wait for a while.
All right, fantastic. Before you leave us, Fatima, if you can, especially to our viewers who are watching us on CCR TV, if there's, because many of them would be, this program is to help many who would like to complete their doctorate and, do their further studies, and your topic for history is a very nice subject that not many touch. I think personally, not many who touch into. So if you would like to inspire any of our viewers, what would you say to them?
Yes, I would like to say to the young viewers, especially the postgraduate students, that there is so much still to write on Goa. I would tell them, go to the archives, research, gather information and analyze them.
And as always, if at all they need any help, do you have
Yes, why not? Why not? I could help them. But there's so much to be done, and it has to be done. The only problem that they might come up with is that they don't know the language. So for that, they will have to study Portuguese if they're going to make use of the archives.
Right.
But besides archives, there are also other places where they could look for material.
Yeah, there's a lot available online as well.
Yeah, nowadays, a lot is available online.
Most of it,
Yeah,
right.
and there is so much to do on Goa.
Correct.
So young people should come forward and research and write.
Yes. So there you are, to all of you all. There's lots to research, there's lots to write, and if you're like falling short of a topic for your thesis, whether it's history or anything else, remember the internet is always there. We have such well-versed personalities with us here in Goa itself as well, who can help you all achieve that dream that you have. Many of us have a dream. Many who have finished their masters, and then you take a break, especially for the ladies. It's they have a family to raise.
And today a doctorate is necessary when you are teaching in a college.
Yes.
So I think it is a good idea to start researching and writing.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So there you are. Once again, that's Fatima who's telling you to, and making sure she inspires many of you all to go ahead and keep writing, keep learning. Fatima, thank you so much for being part of the show, and I really had an enlightening moment, should I say, enlightening 20 odd minutes with you, which I wish we had time, we could have had even more stories about history of the years that have gone by. There's lots to look forward to. So on the thesis, this is Bambino, of course, saying goodbye to you with my guest on the show, who's taken us down memory lane, literally. So I think we both can say bye to all our viewers who are watching us either on the cable channel or online on YouTube. So till we meet again, this is Bambino and Fatima.
Thank you, Bambino, and thank you, viewers, for taking time to watch this.
Yes. Thank you. Till we meet again. Ta-ra. Bye-bye.